this ancient holiday of Imalk is about welcoming Bridget, who's also called the Bright One, onto the land and into your home. And one of the things that people used to do was to clean out the fireplace and put out the fire, because the fire was never put out. But by February 1st, oftentimes, especially here, it's warm enough that you could actually put the fire out and then regenerate the fire from the fire in the village. So they put the fire out, they swept it out, and then they opened the doors and windows and let in the fresh air of the coming spring. And so when the last words were, open the door and let the love in, I just thought, oh, well, aren't we all on the same page? It's so sweet. So that was a little parenthesis. Welcome, everybody. I want to thank Scott Murchison for speaking for me last Sunday. I heard some stories about how you were concerned that he wasn't dressed appropriately, and then he undressed, and gosh, you just had to be here, I guess. You know, you miss a Sunday, so you miss, you have no idea what you miss. So, got to keep coming. All right, so our theme for the year is this: your joyous life. And we are doing this book, The Happiness Project, and we have lots more in the bookstore now. For the entire year, it's divided into 12 chapters, 12 months, and practices for each month. And so you can still sign up for a book study if you want to, or you can use this in your home just with your family. It's a great book and very understandable by children as well, because, you know, who could use a little more joy? You know, yeah, as happy as we are, I'm pretty happy, but I could be happier, and I want to be happier. So the Sunday, or the January theme in the book is about vitality, because what the author says is that if we have vitality, then we can do all the other things that we're going to do in the year that will welcome more happiness, but first getting our energy up. So I want to draw your attention to this wonderful altar, and this is the debut altar of Sandra Glauz. So Sandra's sitting right back there. So Sandra is now on the altar team, so you'll see a Sandra Glauz creation every once in a while now. But the vitality of her lemon tree, and the creativity of her lemon tree, and the idiosyncrasy of her lemon tree to make these orange lemons, I think is just perfect for our theme of vitality today. And so she is generous enough to say, please take these lemons. And Reverend Brent did bite into one, and he says, yep, it's a lemon. So there you go. So the monthly theme to this month is, through today, energy is the activity of God, because this book is very hands-on, logical, not overtly God in it, and I want to bring God into everything that we do. And so, because vitality is the theme of the month in the book, energy, and energy being the activity of God, is the translation into our spiritual principles. So what that says is that everything that comes into being through the working of God's energy. And God's energy is to create. There's one power, and that is for creation. And that energy to create is always happening. You can't turn it off. That's why we get everything that we put into the law, the stuff we like and the stuff we don't like. And our work is to manage our thinking and our activities and our mind and our beliefs so that the law grabs and produces exactly what we want for ourselves and also for the world. So energy is the activity of God, and that activity is always saying yes. You say, oh, I'm so lonely, I'm so tired. It goes, yes, enthusiastically, yes. And you say, I am happy, abundant, and getting better all the time. And the law says, yes, with the same enthusiasm. So our goal for the month has been to boost our energy, to see if that doesn't increase our happiness. And for those of you who haven't taken a look at the book, there are some practices. And I just want to, with a show of hands, I'm going to read through the 5 practices of January. And if you've done some or all, if you've done one, raise your hand, okay? Go to sleep earlier, exercise better, toss, restore, organize, tackle a nagging task, and act more energetic. Anybody consciously do these? Great! Good job, everybody. Wonderful. And do you have more joy? Yeah. So if you didn't, no, I'm not going to, no scolding. But the thing is, you're going to have more chances because these practices are cumulative. And so you get to do all the January practice plus the February practices come a week from now. So you might as well start making habits in the first part of the year because, as another spiritual teacher says, inspiration without actualization is just entertainment. So because this is the last Sunday of January, I would like to review the topics. The first Sunday I talked about making joy the most inclusive quality. We can do that just in our mind, saying when I'm joyful, I'm also peaceful, I'm also loving, I'm also balanced, and just to include everything in the joy pot is the first Sunday. The second Sunday I talked about realizing that when we say that you should do something or you ought to do something, we oftentimes get a little resistance to that. But some of those shoulds actually are referring to natural laws. And if you do them, you will have more joy. Like you should forgive quickly and thoroughly yourself and everybody else. That corresponds to a natural law. So if we do that, our life goes better. So it's a way of letting the spiritual laws support you. And then last Sunday, Scott talked about the solution is right there as you recognize the problem. So hopefully these have given you more vitality. And today, I am talking about this topic, become the person who lives your dream. Isn't that just a wonderful thought, to become the person who lives your dream? I want to read to you why I'm inspired to do this. This is on that last piece of the chapter in January about act more energetic. And so she is illuminating this. I'm sure you've heard it before. Act the way I want to feel. So she describes it like this. Although a fake it till you make it strategy sounded hokey, I found it extremely effective. When I felt draggy, I started to act with more energy. I sped up my walk. I paced while talking on the phone. I put more warmth and zest into my voice. Sometimes I feel exhausted by the prospect of spending time with my own children. But one tired afternoon, instead of trying to devise a game that involved my lying on the couch, I've managed to be astonishingly resourceful at coming up with ideas. I bounded into the room and said, hey, let's play in the tent. And it really worked. I did manage to give myself an energy boost by acting with energy. So I love the way God is the stage manager for this, because remember what Brent said? Brent and I did not talk before the service, before he walked in. And that Gandhi quote, when we think the same thing and speak the same thing and act the same thing, I don't know what Gandhi said, but it's good. It's good. It's that we are in harmony when we do that. So today I want to clarify how to act as if effectively. This is part of our teaching. You've all heard it. And there's a way to do this that brings frustration. And there's a way to do this that brings results. Okay? With me here? Thank you. All right, so here we have this green, growy woman with a dream inside of her. Doesn't that just look like she's got dreams growing on the inside? So the first thing is to be the person who lives your dream, is to have a dream. And so this is a big one for some people. They, if you have been raised with a poor, impoverished person who says, well, do you think you can just have everything you want? Then maybe you don't have that natural dreaming ability, but it is innate in us. So if you ask yourself, what would I love? Then you go for that answer. And you might want to own your own business. You might want to find your true love. You might want to heal with your kids. You might want to travel. You might want to get healthier. You might want to have a deeper relationship with God. Whatever, it can be a little dream on the way to the big dream, just for practice. But you have to have the dream. Then you've heard this, and this is what I'm going to explain today. You can't go for your dream. You have to come from it. Yep, you can't go for your dream. You have to come from it. This is the difference between effective spiritual work and frustrating spiritual work. When I very first came here, there was a couple. We got into a very interesting conversation. They moved away since then. But they said, everybody loves to come to Science of Mind Church, because that's what it was then instead of the Centers for Spiritual Living. Everybody likes to come to a Science of Mind Church because it's such a feel-good. You're told you are perfect, whole, and complete just as you are. That's the truth, by the way. And that you have never made a mistake, that you are the life of God incarnate. You are a beautiful incarnation of the one life. And you hear these wonderful, wonderful things, and you feel good. But then, in order to really make your life work, you actually have to work at it. And she said, we kind of have it's almost a switch and bait, people come in and we tell them how wonderful they are, and then they want something else in their life, and they really have to get down to it, You can't just do a spell. As much as you would like to be able to just do a spell, there's work. So I want to give you a couple examples. So let's just say that you want to release weight. You want to release weight, and you want to get toned and healthier. Now, any of you that have known me over the years know that I have a lot of experience in this. And in fact, my second husband called me a shapeshifter because I was just a different shape all the time. And so I do have some experience in this. And I know what effective work is in this area, and I know what shining myself on is in this area. So let's say you just want to do that. I'll have another example too. But going for your dream, this would be it. I am going for it. I am going for it. I've got my pictures up on the refrigerator door. I have a dream board. I have a dream board with, a bikini-clad person that looks nothing like me, and fruits and vegetables. I have fruits and vegetables on my dream board, and I am even vulnerable enough to come to the center and ask the practitioners to treat for my weight loss and my health. That's good, but it's not good enough, because it's good if you use those practices to get your head differently so you can act differently. But that's the example of inspiration without actualization is just entertainment, and it doesn't stay entertaining. It gets very, very frustrating. So if you put the pictures up on your dream board and on your refrigerator and on your bathroom mirror and any other power places in your home, and you do not make any changes in your behavior, you're not going to get the results, right? Nothing will happen. if you keep doing what you've always done, you will keep getting the same result. So when you reach for your dream and you are unwilling to change, actually change, you will be frustrated and it won't work. So in the Science of Mind textbook, Ernest Holmes says, only as much of this life as we embody will really become ours to use. Only that which we embody will become ours to use. So we must actually become the person that lives our dreams before the dreams show up. And it is a subtle shift. The dream is still out in front of us. I mean, this sweet woman with the dreams inside of her is still reaching. The dream is still in front of us, but instead of wishing for it, wishing for that spell that would go poof, you actually say, how can I become the person that lives my dreams? How can I embody this new way of being? How can it get into me? How can I be actually different? And what happens is we get answers and we actually change. I think so much of the frustration that we have is we want our life to change, but we're not willing to change. That's the difficult work. And it only leads to frustration if that's the model you're going for. Changing on the inside and changing with your action, changing into new habits is exactly what has to happen. So we actually change to be the eaters of the fruits and the vegetables. So I started the treatment and meditation class this Wednesday, and it goes right through lunchtime. It's 11 to 2. I have some tiny little people in that class. Those tiny little people bring their little Tupperware, and their little Tupperware has green things in it and about 4 ounces of protein. That's their lunch. And so if I want to if I want to live my dream, I do what those people do, in addition to all the work in my head. You see? So, this is the quote from Ernest that I want you to really get at the bottom here. To daily embody the great ideal is a royal road to freedom. And the key word there is embody. We are these beautiful beings that are spiritual beings having a physical experience. And that physical experience, boy, oh boy, that is what we involve in change as we work with ourselves on this physical plane. And there must have been something very, very important about this physical plane that our souls wanted. So resistance is futile. Okay, here's another one. Let's say you want abundance, and you put dollars. You actually get some $100 bills. I have these on vision boards. You get some $100 bills and you duplicate them. On your copier. On your copier. They don't spend too well. But they're real good for the vision boards. You just put $100 bills all over your vision boards, and you treat for abundance. But if you make no changes in the principles that affect the movement of money, you will not have any changes. And so working with the principles of order and generosity and self-education about money and gratitude and depth work in changing your beliefs about you and about money and about rich people and about you as a wealthy person. And if you don't do that deep work as well as change behavior with money, there will be no difference in your experience. Now, Posey Lyon is starting a class called The Principles of Financial Freedom. And the first half of the class is about consciousness and about your ability to recognize your limiting beliefs and your ability to recognize how you don't love yourself and change all that inside. And then, you know what? You are actually asked to change your behavior. You are asked to tithe, and you are asked to have a spending plan. And I'm telling you, the people that make a shift with that class move right on through the thinking, the speaking, and the acting with regard to money. Then the changes are made. So, you know, I wanted to tell you a wonderful story about our founder, Dr. Lloyd Tupper. Before he went into the ministry, he lied about his age, actually. Sorry. He was 17. He told people that he was 18 so he could be hired in Wall Street. And he learned a lot about money. And one of the things that he did was he went and sat inside the lobbies of banks on Wall Street and watched the people come in and go out. And he studied them, the way they moved, the way they dressed, the way their air of confidence, the way they handled themselves and their families. It was just one of the things he did. I mean, but the point is, you change your actions, you change your affect in the world, how you present yourself in the world when these internal changes move into action, and you actually present yourself as the person who is living your dream. So this is my book of my favorite quotes. It's available in the bookstore. Bookstore folks told me to say that. This is from Thoreau. If one advances confidently in the direction of their dreams, just like we sang, endeavoring to live the life they are imagining, one passes an invisible boundary. All sorts of things begin to occur that never otherwise would have occurred. One begins to meet with a success unexpected in common hours. What this means is, and most of this talk has been about, I mean, you know, Tony Robbins could have given this talk. He probably would have phrased it a little bit differently, but it's about you changing. You know, just pulling yourself up by the bootstraps and you doing the changing. But when you start doing the changes with the spiritual component of knowing that the universe says yes, what happens is not only do you begin to live the life that you are imagining, but amazing miracles come to you. Amazing opportunities and amazing people and things that you never expected to supplement your dream, because God is acting on your behalf. And that's what happens to people who live their dreams. They get wonderful surprises from God. Serendipity. Unexpected in common hours. So, it's called the gift of grace. So let's just take this into the lesson part and wrap it up. Becoming the person who lives the life you dream. Isn't that just a wonderful image? The first thing is establish your dream. And you establish your dream by asking yourself every single day, if it's necessary, what would I love? What would I love? And let yourself answer that without any argument, without no yes buts. Just, here's my answer. What I would love is this. And next, you deepen your desire for it. Now, this desire is not like, oh, I wish it would happen. Other people get it, and I wish I could. I wish so much. That is not deepening the desire. Deepening the desire is getting to your why. Why do you want this dream? Why do you want this dream? using the example of money, you could say, well, I want to get out of credit card debt. Well, that's a why, but isn't there a bigger why? A bigger why that involves the philanthropic use of money. That's when the dreams get really big. Yeah, I'm going to get out of debt, and then I'm going to go beyond that, and I'm going to buy a musical instrument for everybody in this grade school because they've taken out the music program. And I am personally going to buy a music teacher, and they're going to be an afternoon program so that people can, these little ones can, they're the next generation of our musicians. They need to know how to play music. That's a bigger why. And the whole losing weight thing, well, I want to be able to wear cute clothes that I can buy at Forever 21. And and I want to play with my great-grandchildren. I don't even have grandchildren yet. So that's a big why. That's a big why. So then you discern what you must release. The ways of being, the whiny, victimized consciousness, what is the work in letting go of what does not serve you. So you discern what it is that you have to let go of, and then you actually do it. You actually let go of it. Through prayer, treatment, ritual, habits, reinforcement, whatever it is, so my housemates really support my healthy eating. And so Amanda said to me, what do we do if you go off this program? And I said, hit me? And I said, no, we're not going to hit you. But just whatever it is that is your path to letting go of what no longer serves you. And we're here. We are here to help you. I want to see everybody's life transformed in the ways that you want it. I'm here. The other ministers are here. All of the practitioners. Aren't you ready for transformation? For everybody that, yeah. Then discern what you must embrace. What's the new way of being? What changes are you stepping into? And do it. Create those new habits. And then you embody the new you with action. And this is the real way to be effective with acting as if. You have to act in that way. You have to do it. You have to live life. You have to go beyond treating. Treat and the move your feet part. That's the action. You actually have to go beyond change your thinking, change your life. Yeah, you got to change your thinking, but change your life doesn't happen automatically with just changing your thinking. Changing your life is you living your life differently. So in conclusion here, I think I'm at the end here, you actually feel yourself change. You actually feel yourself change. And you step into a new version of you. And it really is like, it's like dying and being reborn. But you just don't have to turn in this incarnation. You can do it all within the same incarnation here. You can be an entirely new being. And so this is what I want for you and for me and all of our dreams to come true, because we are so much better people for ourselves, for our families, for our friends, and for the world when we are living the dreams that are in our heart. Thank you.